Welcome in. We're at Oakland High School here in Oakland, Alabama, talking pride and what you do. It is Meek Game Week here on Go Wildcats with head coach Ryan Hall. Okay, Coach, this week we're talking pride in what you do. Anything we do, we need to do with excellence. We want to avoid doing it for attention. We've talked about that several times throughout the season, but let's talk about doing what you do to your best, having the pride.
Yeah, I think there's, I used to say pride in performance, but I don't use the word performance anymore because, we try to teach competitiveness. This is not a performance. We're not performing for people on a football game. We're competing for our team and for ourselves to be the best that we can be. So it's really about pride in what you do. And I think one of the dangers in that we all struggle with is, a lot of times they'll make an excuse for you. They'll give you, well, you didn't do this at Winfield because the referees were bad, or you're not making plays because the coach. At the end of the day, it's on us to take pride in what we do. And if it's not good, we got to fix it. We got to own it. There's a lot of research on leadership, and one of the key principles that it always comes back to is ownership and extreme ownership. If we don't play well, it's always on me as the head coach. It's always my responsibility, whether it's defense, special teams, it doesn't matter. I take pride in our team and how they play and compete, and I want our players to do that too with everything that they do. And so, going back to that battle is, when people make excuses for you, it makes it easy for you to go, well, it's okay. It's somebody else's fault. No, we've got to get away from that mentality, and we've got to get to the mentality that, I own all of it, the good, the bad, all of it, and I'm always focusing on playing, competing at the highest level I can, and taking pride in that. Pride's a dangerous word. You got to be careful how you use it. But what I'm referring to is it's important to me. I care about how I play and how I do things. And so I want our players to learn that, and I want them to always care and take pride in the things that they do and doing them well and doing them, like you said at the beginning, at the outset, do them to the best of their ability.
Yep. Right things, right ways, right time, that kind of mindset. Yep. Well, very, very good. We're thankful for that emphasis and that reminder for us all. Hope that you'll keep watching. We will spend a few minutes with Coach Jeff Ward, and then Coach will break down game film and talk to us about the rest of this game week proceedings. All right, we're here with Coach Jeff Ward. We've talked with Coach Ward before when the season began. Coach is the special teams coordinator, also coaches on defense, right? So we're thankful for all the good he does, but we especially wanted him to join us this week to help us learn about what the Men of Iron is. So tell us, Coach, about what you do with that.
So basically the Men of Iron is something that Coach Hall wanted to implement to help the young men become men, learning ways in life where you can become men, but also translating that to on the field. And just for an example that we talked about, I can give two, is one is just believing in yourself that you can get things done. If you believe here that, hey, I can go out there, I'm gonna give it all I got, we can win this game, we can do everything we got, then that can benefit on the field. But there's also in life what you believe. If you believe in being a great father, being a great brother, a great friend, then that's something that's going to translate over into the life. Another thing that we also talked about is like positioning yourself. Always make sure that you're in a position. Being in life, the main thing is making sure that you're in position for God to be able to use you the way you want to be used. And so to translate that on the field, everybody has a position to play. And for you to benefit, or your team to benefit from that, you got to make sure that you're playing your position very well and that you're in a position to make that play. So we try to translate those two, and I try to get as close as possible, even though it's, it's hard, to put, try to make that work. Being a football player, rough and intense, and then trying to be that godly man in life, of that loving, caring man that God wants you to be. But it's easy for me to let the guys know that it is some translations that's there, far as keeping it all the same of what type of man you want to be in life, and also what type of player you want to be on the field. and letting them know that if you can look at those things, the most important, of course, is making sure that you are the man that we want you to be in life, and then carry on. If you're that type of man, I say what you do off the field is going to carry on the field. If you do the right thing every single day off the field, going to class on time, doing your work, turning that in on time, being polite to others around you, then that's going to translate on the field, because when we need you to be in a certain coverage, you're going to be there. When we need you to be in that position to make that play, we know you're going to be there. That's that trust, and that's what that's building. So Men of Iron, I think, is an excellent thing that we do on Fridays, just to teach the young men how to become men and make sure they position themselves.
All right, that's great. Tell us, is that something you do weekly, daily? How often do you go through this with them?
We do it every Friday before the game, and it's right before the pep rally. So I come up, we'll go over special teams, and then after the special teams, then we have everybody that come up. I give them time so everybody able to come up, and we sit down right here in the facility, and we break it down for about 20, 30 minutes. It ain't long, just a quick little devotion that we do every Friday in around about 20 to 30 minutes, and then we head on down for the pep rally for it to get wild.
Well, that's good.
Yes,
very, very good. Let's talk about just how have you seen them grow through that?
Yes.
Anything stand out in your mind?
Biggest thing is when after it's all over with, and they come to me on that Monday and they say, "Coach, I understand what you was talking about. Having this happen in my life, and me being able to have faith in God and trust in God that He's gonna make this thing work, and He's gonna, that was the first thing of them believing, that hey, God is gonna do everything that He said He's gonna do, and then to come out, on that Friday, and I think that game that we talked about with believing was against Fed, and so everybody just assumed that Fed was gonna come out and just blow us out right off the bat, and for us to be 7-15. I heard a lot of guys at halftime just speaking of, oh, we got to believe, continue to believe. So that's the biggest thing of when I hear, that right there, to what we take from Friday, and it carry on to the real world and also on the field, like it touches my heart, because I know that they're listening and they looking forward to it each and every day. Or they come in here, they grab their chairs, they grab their little seats, and I promise you, like they ready for it. So I can see that it is benefiting them from the conversations we have and the talks that we have. It really is.
All right, short question here, but connected to this week. It's been a little bit of a crazy week with homecoming and all that kind of stuff. As an Oakman native, Oakman family, talk about just how great it is to be a part of all that this means to this community.
Oh, it's huge. Homecoming is always an exciting. I remember being young and couldn't wait to get out at 12 to get ready to come down here for the pep rally. And I went to school actually in Jasper. So for me to be going to Jasper, West Jasper, and Walker High School, I'm coming down here for the pep rally in Oakman. It's like everybody looked at me to be weird. I'm going to school. It's homecoming week. Jasper, Walker homecoming into next week, I'm just like, no, it's homecoming week in Oakman. Like, I'm going to Oakman. So it's like awesome. I've always been a part of this community. My brother played, so it's like I've always been here. And this was the most exciting time of getting ready for the floats, to seeing all the different color floats, everybody being dressed up for it, and then coming out on Friday night and the exciting there. It's huge, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. One more aspect that we're thankful for when it comes to you and your connection here to the school and the community is that you're the new basketball coach. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
We're excited for that, for you and the team both. So any final words about how we can help you as a program and anything you got coming up?
Biggest thing is in 2 days, Saturday, October 29th, we do have the alumni game that we're going to have. And it's basically we have alumni that's going to come out, have a game for themselves, but we're also going to have little games that's going on in between, shoot around, three-point shootout, free throw shootout, things like that. And I would love for the community to come out to support the basketball team as well. We're young. I think we only have like 3 seniors that we have on the team. It's exciting because the attitude that we got great attitudes that's going to be a part of it. This is my first year that's ever going to be part of basketball. So it was really exciting for me to get the job, but I'm really excited just because of the guys that I'm going to have. Great teammates, great brotherhood that's going to be there, and I'm excited to be able to be a part of it.
Well, wonderful. We're excited for you as well. You want to close us out? Go Wildcats.
Go Cats.
Okay, we'll look at a couple of cut-ups from the Friday night game against Winfield. First, this is early in the game on defense. I thought we had a great first defensive series. Came out and played with great energy. Peyton McLemore come off the top of the screen edge as they're zoning it, and he just comes off and makes a play on the back there and tackles them for a 4-yard loss. Good job by the guys rallying to the ball, and Luke Martin kind of finishing it off. But Peyton makes that happen by coming off that edge with a good angle. Does a good job of bending it. One of the things you're always looking for on this is the quarterback pull. So we have a safety down, so that allows Peyton to kind of play the back, and then our safety, Rick Johnson, could play the quarterback on the pull. So Peyton does a good job coming off the edge, attacking the mesh point, and then we rally to the football and get a tackle. This is the second play they have from scrimmage, and again, Peyton does a good job right here getting in the mix, just coming off. They actually pull now, so it kind of gives a zone look like it did on last play, but they're pulling the GT. Peyton sets the edge there, turns it back in. Good job by Trace of filling right there, low, wrapping up, and then Peyton pulls the ball out and we create the fumble right there. So Peyton's just active on defense and finishing plays, and just really excited to watch him play. Trace does a good job right here. We're throwing our little corner out to the boundary, okay? And you see there's nobody back there in that grass to the top of the screen. 17 drops, plays over the top, does a good job of reading that and getting it out to the back now, and we're able to pick up a good 13-yard gain. Trace did that several times where he just found the back and gave us a chance. It's just 3rd and 7. We're going to sprint out, try to throw a little comeback to get a first down. Good depth by Trace. Steps up. He has to step up because we get a wide pocket. You can see we don't get this guy reached. Kaysen can't get him reached, which would then allow, if he got on the other side of him, Trace could continue to roll and find the space, but Trace has to step up and throw that comeback. Ball gets to Bridger off a tip, and he does a great job of creating a big play, an explosive play, getting us in good field position. Later on in the game, there's another play where you see them running the GT scheme again, where they're pulling both guards. This is more of a pin and pull sweep kind of deal. But Peyton does a good job of running through again and just contacting the back, and then Will Woods and some other defenders rally to the ball and finish it off. Good play by our defense right there. Show this last clip. This is just one of our sweeps. We ran sweeps several times. We felt like the sweep was a better call for us. We do a good job right here getting the ball cut up into the alley. Okay, so we're going to stretch it, and hopefully we get them running sideways and then turn the ball up in the alley. It ends up bouncing outside. We're able to get them reached out there and hooked, and Kaysen does a good job of running the ball up the sideline, sticking his nose in there at the end. That's what we want to see, boom, and delivering a blow to a defender. So tough night for us on the scoreboard, but there were some things that we were excited about. Watching Bridger, he made a ton of plays. Peyton McLemore, who always plays hard, and then Trace did a good job at linebacker.
Okay, Coach, so tough outcome this past week on the road at Winfield. Get shut out 43-0. Talk to us about how the team has responded and how the game went.
Yeah, it was, you got to do a lot right in that game. And one of the things that I always say about Winfield, they challenge you because they play so hard. They play snap to whistle. And that's kind of what we're trying to get our players to do is, when they step on the field, they may not be big, they may not be fat, but they're going to play with great effort from snap to whistle. And we didn't match that. And when you don't match that, the game gets away from you against a team like that. So, that's what happened. I felt like offensively we moved the ball pretty successfully, but we couldn't get it in there and score. And they have a lot to do with that too. And we really struggled to tackle their back. But we had some bright spots on defense. I thought Bridger Upton was really fantastic. Our two corners, Xavier Frazee and Chris Eckroth, played really, really well. Trace Cagle again. He's one of the guys that we do have that matches that effort. He plays from snap to whistle every single play. So there were some bright spots, and we're always looking for that as we continue to try to grow and develop our team and moving forward. But not the outcome we wanted. And hats off to Winfield. And obviously they have a great program, and we're still trying to get to that point where we are like that. So again, hats off to them.
Sure, we're not going to be surprised if at all the last handful of teams you got Winfield and Gordo remaining in the state playoffs. So quite a task, but appreciate your team's valiant effort against them. Let's talk who stood out specifically as players of the week.
Yeah, on offense, Bridger Upton was our offensive player of the week. He had, I think, 4 or 5 catches and really made some big plays. When we had a big play, it usually came from him, whether it was in the passing game or, on some of our weak side runs. He did a really good job of getting the ball out there on the edge, and he's really, really growing into a really fantastic offensive football player. And on the flip side, we moved him to safety, which was kind of a mid-game change to try to get some people to come down and fill and tackle. And he did a fantastic job of that. He's got courage, and one of my coaching buddies that I really talk to a lot, that's what he says. You got to have guys with courage, and Bridger has courage. And so he was our offensive player of the week. Our defensive player of the week was Trace Cagle, and Trace plays with such a great motor and energy. he should inspire you when you play with him, because he does. He's always going to give you all he's got. And I thought he was really, really good running to the football. And they gave us some problems up front. We had to kind of change the front and go to a 3-man front here. And some of that has to do with the number of linemen that we have right now. And so some of it's not necessarily schematic, but it's not what we want to do, but what we have to do to try to make it through the game to keep guys a little bit fresh at the end. So we had to go to a 3-man front and had a tough time dealing with them. But Trace ran around and saved us several times. So proud of him. And then our do-the-work player was Chris Eckroth. And, we challenged Chris a couple of weeks ago and kind of played another guy in front of him a little bit. And man, he answered the call. He did what you're supposed to do. He came to practice, asked, what do I got to do? We got to do this, 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 and this. And he did all of them. And then Friday night I thought he played really well. And he even had some offensive snaps where I thought he did a good job. So really excited to get him back going and proud of him for how he responded to some adversity.
All right, very good. Congrats to Bridger, to Trace, and to Chris. Appreciate their hard work this week and this season. Let's now move toward the final regular season game. It's a home game.
Yep.
Meek, we welcome the Meek Tigers, undefeated Meek Tigers. And so we're excited to welcome them up from Winston County. And not only is it the final game of the season, but it's senior night, it's homecoming. We got all those festivities, a little bit of a weather situation earlier in the week. So let's just talk about the game and the pageantry and all that's involved.
Yeah, homecoming, always, I always hear people talk about distractions, and, then we have the weather that could be a distraction, and there's other things going on but distractions are only that if you let them, and that's just the facts. You have to stay focused on the main course, and that is the game, and all the other things are for the other people, and they're wonderful, and I think they're awesome. Like, I would never not want to have, and I wouldn't want our kids not to participate in those things. I want them to enjoy it, and, to me, high school sports are more about experiences than they are. You're not going to remember. I don't even remember the scores of any games I played in high school. I couldn't tell you, but I remember a lot of the experiences. So never want to take that away from our players, but I also want them to understand that, there's the football game is the reason there is a homecoming. And so we've got to do a good job staying focused on that and not letting those distractions take us away. Meek is a tremendous football team. And really, really, it's just, I'm amazed at the job that those guys have done there. Over the course of the 3 years that they've been there, that they go from a 1-9 team to now a 9-0, and the coach there really has believed that from the day he stepped foot on the campus there and really pushed, and they've done a good job of changing the mindset there, and so it's a really impressive team. I think that they run the ball really, really well. They're a wing T kind of team. They play on a little double wing, which is will present challenges for us because again up front we've got to match the physicality, and they're big and strong, and we've got to figure out how to get the right pieces in there to do that. And then defensively, they're pretty sound in what they do. They play a lot of cover 3 and just kind of force you to move the ball down the field, which is we've got to figure out how to get the ball in the end zone. So, but it should be another challenge for our guys. And we've played now. This is going on Fayette, Gordo, Winfield, Meek. This is our 4th straight week of playing what we feel like are championship caliber programs, and so. Hopefully we're learning from that, and I know it's tough, and sometimes to get to where you want to get to, you got to go through these tough times, and we're in the midst of it, but our players have responded well, and I know that they'll go out and compete hard Friday night.
All right, we're excited about that. Hope that you'll be sure that you're there and loud. 6:15 is senior night festivities, and that's not just football senior night, it's across all sports. So we look forward to honoring all those valuable members of this school and community. Coach?
Yeah, go ahead. Before I say go Wildcats, I just wanted to take a quick second and talk about Aiden Martin, Pearson Gerganis, Cam Hulsey, Gavin Johnson, Dylan Shedd. Those are our 5 seniors. And, as far as young men and the character that they have, they are tremendous young men that have fought tooth and nail all year, whether it be as a starter or it's backup or whatever. So I just want to take just a second and share my appreciation for those 5 young men and their families and the commitment they've made to the Oakman football program, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that, and I want to make sure that they know how much I appreciate them and their family. And as always, go Wildcats.